From the Yanatelli Center in Jersey City, this is St. Peter's University basketball on YouTube.com and the Peacocks Network.com. The ladies tonight were the Peacocks with a record of 3-16 overall. They are winless through 8 games in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, playing host to Monmouth University, 5 up, 13 down overall. They are 3-4 in the MAC. Good evening, everybody. I'm Glenn Crooks along with Chris Radicke. Monmouth going for the season series sweep. They defeated Monmouth in West Long Branch on January the 7th, 51-44. In that game, Monmouth with a season high 51 rebounds. Monmouth coming off 68-58 home victory against Iona, while St. Peter's dropped a Tuesday night game here at Yanatelli, their third consecutive loss here at home, and the final of that one was 86-53. So obvious when you look at the game coming in, Chris, it is two teams that are struggling. Monmouth in 9th, St. Peter's tied for the bottom spot. So the both programs pretty desperate, maybe even more so with the Peacocks for a win.
Well, St. Peter's has struggled as of late scoring the basketball. The Peacocks have gotten off the slow starts in the first quarter. In 4 straight games before taking on Marist on Tuesday, the Peacocks hadn't scored in double figures in the opening quarter. They scored 11 points in the first quarter. Marist led 18-11 after 1. So the Peacocks have one of their best first quarters down at Monmouth. It was the second, third quarter where they really struggled. So I think Coach Coyle is looking for some consistency on the offensive end. St. Peter's would love to get Sujana Bethea more involved. She was out. She hurt her foot, sat out the one game. Since she's come back, she went scoreless and scored only 2 points. You saw the frustration against Marist on Tuesday night. So I'm sure Coach Coyle would like to get Bethea involved, so Hughes has a secondary score, and that would open things up for Bellis on the outside.
Prior to the Marist game, Niagara outscoring St. Peter's 19-8 in the first quarter, en route to a win there here at Yanatelli. And Canisius prior to that, 19-7 outscoring the Peacocks in that first quarter. Also a loss at home here in Jersey City, where we all rise now in a moment for the playing of our national anthem. Moments away from tip-off, so let's go over the starting lineups for both sides. First, for visiting Monmouth University, it'll be number 3, Rosa Graham, a 5'7" sophomore guard from Rochester, New York. Number 11, Kayla Shaw, 5'10" sophomore guard, Scottsdale, Arizona. Number 20 is Mackenzie Barker, a 5'10" junior guard from Beaumont, West Virginia. Rhea Spooner-Knight, number 21, 5'10" senior guard from Hamilton, New Zealand. And number 24, Erica Ballman, a 6'5" junior center from Marcellus, New York. In her first year as the head coach, Jody Craig started this season as the top assistant to Jenny Palmatier. A move was made. Palmatier released on December the 7th. Craig becoming the head coach at Monmouth. For St. Peter's University, Number 1, the Avion Magazine. She's a 5'6" freshman guard from Paterson, New Jersey. Number 15, Taylor Hughes, 5'10" sophomore forward, Beacon, New York. Senior, rather, Beacon, New York. Number 20, Zoe Perro, 6' sophomore forward from Secaucus, New Jersey. Number 23 is Alyssa Vellis, a 5'10" senior guard, Franklin, Connecticut. And number 24, Deja Martin, 5'10" freshman forward from Westburg, New York. Pat Coyle, the head coach, in her 5th season with the Peacocks. The officials this evening here in Jersey City, Ken Kelly, Brandon Enterline, and Christy Mosley. And Chris, you were here Tuesday night for the Marist game, and again for the Peacocks, just 3 wins on the year. They came over the first 5 games of the season, 6 victories in total over the last 2 seasons, so the struggle continues in order to get that consistent framework.
Well, things have snowballed, and it's hard to get that stopped at times. And the last couple games, the Peacocks haven't really been in it, but this is a game I'm sure the coaching staff and the players feel like they can win and compete in. Both of these teams really turn the ball over. Monmouth with 21 turnovers per game. The Peacocks average over 20 turnovers as well. So that could certainly play a part tonight. Neither team has a real big score. They have just one player on each side scoring in double figures. Shaw at 12 points per game for Monmouth, and Taylor Hughes just over 10 points per game for St. Peter's. So this should be a dogfight, very competitive ball game. And we'll see again if the turnovers play a big role. Peacocks have one of their best games in terms of handling the basketball down at Monmouth. They just 8 giveaways in that ball game, but as you mentioned, Monmouth really getting on the glass, 13 offensive rebounds.
And Monmouth wins the opening tip. They're wearing their road blue with white trim, and they're moving at the basket to our right. And we are underway. Glenn Crooks, Chris Radicke with you, and Monmouth University 3-4 in the MAC. On the drive is Rhea Spooner Knight. That one deflected out by St. Peter's. Monmouth will have the basketball underneath their own hoop with 12 seconds to shoot. Ball looped out up top to Graham. Head of the circle, Barker, and she'll swing. 3-pointer on the way. Kayla Shaw, no good. And boxing out well for St. Peter's, Martin. Peacocks ahead. The ball deflected but picked up by Perro. She's about 15 feet out right side. Pull up for the foul line is good by Hughes.
Great job by Perro finding the trailer Hughes. The Peacocks have to get out in transition, find some early offense. That time they got the secondary break to work.
Rosa Graham around the screen. Now the ball looped in low to Ballman. Her spinning shot, it misses off the rim, and Perro there for the rebound. Zoe Perro averaging 5 boards per contest. Here's a Magazine on the drive, finds Vellis right corner. That's Taylor Hughes now, working around a screen from Martin. 10 seconds to shoot. Here's Martin now, trying the reverse, and she's fouled on her way up by Ballman.
Martin bailed out there, but she drove the basketball, got the call, and one of the things for St. Peter's, they haven't had a lot of early leads. When you've been struggling like the Peacocks have, you get off to that quick start, will give you a little bit of confidence.
Martin from the free throw line, 15 of 33. And, well, there you saw an example why, 46% for the line. This is the 36th meeting all time. St. Peter's, Monmouth, the Hawks with the edge, 23 wins to just 12 for the Peacocks. 2-0 early on. Martin makes the second. Just about a minute and a half gone by. Full court pressure by St. Peter's. Monmouth struggling to work it out. Finally, Barker gets it to Spooner Knight. She drives the paint, running right-hander off the rim. Taylor Hughes, she grabs the rebound and will carry it into the front court on her own. Ball screen, Martin, pick and roll. Martin with the mid-range jumper, missed short. And now it's Graham for Monmouth. Bounces right for Shaw. This is Graham again, and holding up the index finger of her right hand to call out the play. Kayla Shaw, who led Monmouth the first time against St. Peter's. And the stop and the pop, it's good by Barker. 3-2 St. Peter's. Inside of 8 minutes, first quarter. Magazine around the screen from Perro this time. It's Martin, head of the circle, in low to Perro. Spinning move, it's good.
Decisive move by Perro. The Peacocks getting the entry pass from the foul line. Martin was able to put it in there because Perro fought for position and was able to turn and shoot.
Thus far, St. Peter's off to the good first quarter start. Chris referring to the struggles there, and answering back with a 3 is Mackenzie Barker.
Now 11 of 21 from three-point range for the season. Like the extension, how she held her follow-through.
Barker from West Virginia, Clay County High School. Magazine backs up on the dribble. Half-court set, St. Peter's with Perro. Holds the ball for a moment, left of the circle, it's Magazine. Picks up her dribble, Velas off the move, and knocks it down.
Velas known for spotting up from beyond the arc, but in a situation like that, she was able to curl, get the shoulders squared, and good rhythm, 1-2 into the shot.
Velas third in the MAC in three-point field goals, but this one from inside the arc, and off the move, Barker puts it up, no, but she's fouled.
Barker was able to create some body contact, used the left shoulder to protect the basketball.
So Deja Martin commits the first foul for St. Peter's. And Barker to the line where she is 83% proficient. Barker averages a little over 5 points per game, and she has equaled that early on. Make it 6 and 7. So Barker with all 7 points for Monmouth. We're tied at 7.
Neither team shoots the ball real well from three-point range. Monmouth at 28% for the season. St. Peter's at 31%. So people make this game complicated at times. Sometimes it's just a team that shoots the ball better, and three-pointers could play a factor tonight as well.
Elena Jarnett is set to check into the game for Monmouth, while Hughes was circling right on the dribble. Foul called against Monmouth, their second. Here's Jarnett in for Graham. Jarnett, a 5'7" sophomore from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. 7-7, 6:19 to play first quarter. Perro lobbing to Hughes. And Hughes with great control underneath. And she lays it in.
Good catch by Hughes, as they were able to gather herself, do a little bit of contact, and finished.
Hughes now, her second bucket. She's got 4. 9-7 St. Peter's. Long 3 is good. This time Spooner Knight.
And she comes in shooting just 18% from three-point range for the season, her 7th 3 of the year.
Sat out last year. Transfer, Utah Valley University. 13 points, 9 rebounds in the 51-44 win over St. Peter's. Back at the other end, Alexa Middleton, who has checked in for Monmouth with the block on Perro. St. Peter's will have 11 to shoot.
Perro used the inside hand to try and scoop it under defender. The help was there. And there's a case where you need to step back and take that jumper or use the left hand.
Perro down. Sajana Bethea in. Here's Hughes, is loose in middle of the foul circle, makes the shot.
And that's what makes watching Hughes so frustrating at times. Really has a lot of elements to her game, can hit that pull-up jumper. That's a difference maker. Tonight she's come out aggressive and hit 2.
Hughes coming in 18 points shy of 1,000 for her career. Velas for St. Peter's after grabbing the rebound. Bethea, mid-range, right side, air ball, cleared the rim, but saved along the baseline by Martin. So the Avion Magazine, the freshman from Patterson, will set it up off the screen from Bethea. The ball high off the rim, grabbed by Middleton for Monmouth, leading the fast break, Jarnett. Straight away, Zelaya, that's Adriana Zelaya. 6'2" from Arizona, setting the screen now for Jarnett. Zelaya And the little baby hook in the lane misses by Middleton. Monmouth, though, gets the rebound and a fresh 30. Short off the rim, no. Jarnett, but again, another offensive rebound and another miss by Monmouth, and yet another hustle play, this time by Spooner Knight, and St. Peter's will have the basketball, but Monmouth, check that, Monmouth will retain possession when we return. Timeout on the floor with 4:09 to play. It's St. Peter's 11 and Monmouth 10 on the PeacocksNetwork.com. St. Peter's 11, Monmouth 10. Women's basketball here on YouTube.com from Jersey City. Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Monmouth at 3 up and 4 down coming in. They are ninth in the league. St. Peter's tied with the Iona for the bottom spot at 0-8. St. Peter's off the timeout with the basketball. Hughes with the pull-up left side. It's good, and she is perfect. 4 for 4 on the night.
So a great start, playing with confidence, was able to take the dribble and score off the bounce. And it was a good pass as well against the pressure after the Peacocks broke it.
And a turnover, carrying the basketball, Elena Jarnett. Chris, you mentioned the turnover struggles for both sides, but turnover margin, Monmouth is second to last in the country. And at the bottom of the MAC in that important category. Bethea has it touched from behind by Middleton. St. Peter's still with the basketball and a 13-10 lead.
Well, when these teams first met, talked about it before, Monmouth turned the ball over 21 times. The Peacocks were only able to score 10 points off those turnovers.
Vellis with 15 seconds picks up the dribble, hands to Bethea, right back to Vellis. And a quick release on the three, no. Tapped away by Perro, and a good save along this near sideline by Bethea. St. Peter's got the fresh 30 after the Vellis three-point field goal miss. Hughes around the screen from Perro. Cross-court Magazine, and a foul away from the ball, and Sajana Bethea with an illegal screen.
And the Peacocks hadn't turned it over until that point. Those are the type of plays that when you're in a losing streak like this, you really can't have, because you have a chance for that possession. It's an unnecessary foul. So Bethea, we talked about it before the game. She threw up an air ball on her first shot. She has to get involved here as we head for home in the MAC season.
St. Peter's trying to snap a 14-game losing streak. Magazine picks up the loose ball. Another Hawks turnover. Magazine gets to the foul line, bounces for Perro underneath the hoop, and she whips a pass over the head of Bethea.
And the Peacocks need to halt these turnovers right now. Saw it on Tuesday night. Once they get a couple, they just seem to mount very quickly. And then there's a lot of pressure when you get in the half-court offense. There's a case where Perro, you'd have been better off just turning around and shooting rather than trying to create underneath the basket.
Another turnover for Monmouth. This time the foul committed by Middleton. So, sloppy start to the game for Monmouth, who lost 7 of their first 9 games, resulting in the dismissal of Jenny Palmatier, their 7-year head coach. So on December the 7th, Jody Craig, the top assistant, replaced Palmatier. Monmouth has won 3 of their next 9 under Craig. And how about that? Hughes still perfect for the field. Here's the crossover and the drive by Barker. And trying to draw the charge, St. Peter's. And Haley Delonzo, however, she's called for the personal.
Delonzo was too far underneath the basket to draw that foul call. You like the idea. The other end, Hughes, what can you say? The aggressiveness, you can see the confidence that she has, really extending the follow-through. She's got lift on her jump shot, so a great start for Hughes. She has 10 of the Peacock 15.
Matching her season average. Shaw forced to pull up. She tried to whirl into the paint. Here's the kick out. And a 3-second violation on Middleton. My word.
Just talked about it on the Peacock, and there are unforced turnovers, and that just being lazy, not being aware. At this point of the season, you should, have these kinks worked out, so to speak. Pressure
from Monmouth. Bethea dribbles out of it, and a foul's going to be called on either Shaw or Taylor Nason, who's into the game, and they both looked at each other. It's going on Shaw, her first. Team foul number 4 on Monmouth. 1:52 left in the first quarter. Kayla Hughes will inbound. No, she won't, actually, as Brianna Tarabaccia will take out Taylor Hughes. 5 for 5 for the field, 10 points, 3 rebounds. And she's moved herself into a position to get her 1,000th point tonight at home. Just 8 shy of that mark now off this really torrid first quarter start for her. Peacocks up 15-10. Delonzo, Lochner, Tarabaccia goes to Pero, right elbow, ball deflected away. 13 seconds to shoot for the Peacocks. Delonzo, the 5'7" freshman from Lincroft. She'll put it into play right in front of the Monmouth bench, and dangerous pass to Bethea, deflected out by Shaw.
Have to throw that pass to open space and trust your teammate's going to go and get the ball. Put it out near midcourt a little. Pass was too close to the defense. Peacocks dodge a bullet.
Here's Lochner. 9th in assists per game. Gets it to Delonzo. Poor shot. Graham for Monmouth. Down by 5 are the Hawks. 1:15 to play first quarter. Graham from Rochester, New York, swings down for Arfenengo. Carol Arfenengo in the game for the first time. The Madrid, Spain freshman.
Monmouth needs to get Shaw involved here. Has been quiet. Shaw has only attempted 1 shot of 3 in the early going. She comes in averaging 12 points per game, 44% from the field.
The lob off the inbound. Here's Graham. Covered by Lochner. Graham looks to find the cutting Middleton. It's deflected away. Monmouth turnover. Number 6 here in the first quarter. Mid-range left side. Sam Meyer, no. And grabbing the rebound, Pero along with Arfenengo, and it's a tie-up. St. Peter's will keep the ball.
Last couple games, Myers come right in and hit that shot. I think that time she was a little further out, and also the defender did a good job of closing out.
Meyer is a 47% shooter from the field. Tarabaccia will launch for the left corner, and now it's a fast break the other way for Monmouth off the miss. Arfenengo. Barker now on the ball is Jarnett. 36 seconds on the game clock, 15 on the shot clock. Another turnover for Monmouth. 2-on-3 break. Tarabaccia lays it in.
Well, that's what the Peacocks need to do. It wasn't pretty, but they get out in transition off that live ball turnover. You have to make the Hawks pay.
Well, St. Peter's on a Friday night have ended the first quarter blues. Long way to go, but they have a 17-10 lead. Monmouth, 6 seconds to shoot, and on the game clock, and an important lay-in from the left side by Middleton. And there's the buzzer, and that'll do it in the first quarter.
That's a good way to finish for Monmouth. They get the ball inside. Middleton able to bank it home, but the Peacocks getting it going here. A 5-point lead at the end of one quarter, and Taylor Hughes, just a great start to the ball game, leading the team. We'll see if St. Peter's can pick it up. You mentioned a couple moments ago, they just have to continue to play good defense, and when they get those turnovers, they have to try and turn them into easy points, get some early offense.
Taylor Hughes leads St. Peter's with 10 points. Mackenzie Barker, 7 to lead the Hawks, but it's the Peacocks on top through one quarter. St. Peter's 17, Monmouth 12 on YouTube.com and the PeacocksNetwork.com. St. Peter's University trying to snap a lengthy losing scheme. And after one quarter of play, the Peacocks lead Monmouth 17-12. Taylor Hughes with 10 points on 5 of 5 for the field to go along with 3 rebounds. It's been a good night for the senior.
Hot shooting start for the Peacocks, 8 of 16 from the field. Monmouth already with 7 turnovers. Peacocks with 6 points off those 7 turnovers. St. Peter's has turned it over just twice.
St. Peter's shooting just 36% on the season from the field. Monmouth, first possession of the second quarter. And wouldn't you know it, turnover number 8.
On Arfanengo. Another unforced turnover, just rushing, move the pivot foot. You do that, top of the key. The officials are going to see it, and no choice there. 8 giveaways for the Hawks.
In their media notes, they certainly have pushed the fact that they have finished the same or better than all of the preseason rankings since they joined the MAC, finishing 5th last year and picked to finish 5th at the beginning of this season. And there was a lot of optimism, but things went downhill quickly. Monmouth on the ball with Jarnett, still 17-12, no points second quarter yet. Here's a long 3, rimmed by Zelaya. Offensive rebound, Monmouth. They've had several, so they'll get another chance at this as Jarnett backs up on the dribble to set up the acceleration, and the reverse pass. Shot, no. Sam Meyer gets a piece of it, and with a fresh 30, they'll set it up again. The Hawks around the screen. Jarnett back to Zelaya. Jarnett spinning on Lochter. Here's the lob in for Middleton. Backdoor and then wide left into the corner, and the 3 no good by Zelaya. It's 23% from outside the arc, and another offensive rebound. And if you look at the rebounding statistics, Monmouth second in the league. And now a traveling violation. So we've seen their rebounding, which has been a good part of their formula, and then the other side that's not so good.
How many cracks did they have at it that possession? And they end up turning it over. Middleton trying to go to work in the post. She had done a good job of pushing Meyer underneath the basket to grab a couple of offensive rebounds.
And here's Lochter sprinting past Ballman to lay it in with the left hand. So Sammy Lochter gives St. Peter's the 7-point advantage, matching their biggest lead of the game, 19-12, 2 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Ballman backing in on Deja Martin, and it's another turnover.
Well, you see that a lot, players catching the post, and as they're dribbling, they're staring at the floor. Just a habit, but when you do that, you're unaware of everyone around you. You don't see anyone open, the passing angles, and I think Martin pulled the chair a little there, and another Monmouth turnover.
St. Peter's with this group of 5 players in, showing good spirit and energy, led by Sammy Lochter there. Turnaround by Pero, short. Monmouth back the other way with Jarnett, sophomore from Minnesota. Here's the drive by Spooner Knight. She misses, and Martin strong on the rebound. Here's Sammy Lochter. Just under 3 assists per game, averaging 3.5 points. In a reserve role, Martin catches the ball very deep, but can't make the turnaround over Ballman. The ball knocked loose now, and Monmouth has it from behind. Pero almost strips Dana Carbone of the basketball, but Monmouth maintains control. 19-12, St. Peter's with the advantage inside 7 minutes, second quarter. It's a Spooner Knight making her way against Taylor Hughes. Spooner Knight, she'll shoot over Hughes. Back iron, no, and Hughes leaps into the paint to grab it. 4 players getting set to check in, 2 on either side. Next dead ball, make it 3 for Monmouth now as Pero is isolated, and her scoop with the left hand is partially blocked. She was driving on Zalea, seemed to have the edge, but the help defense worked for Monmouth. 3 on the way. That missed short off the rim, and the rebound by Lochner. And got a whistle and a timeout called by Pat Coyle for St. Peter's.
Peacocks in transition there. It catches you off guard that Lochner was about to throw that long bounce pass. The whistle came. Peacocks call a timeout. So St. Peter's had a couple of opportunities here to build on this 7-point lead. Monmouth still really struggling, down by just 7, and depending on your philosophy, if I'm a player, it's a little hard to play like this because every other 2 seconds it seems like you're coming out of the ball game. How do you find your rhythm? Shaw averages 30 minutes a game, but Monmouth goes very deep into the bench. There's games where they'll play 12 players, and it's balanced, but then the question becomes, do you want your best players out on the floor for more minutes? And again, we're not with the program every day, but it certainly seems like it is a style or a philosophy. But in a situation like this where the offense is really bogged down, I'd like to get Shaw some looks at the basket.
How difficult do you think it is for a team, and it could go either way, I suppose, to lose your coach? And even though Jody Craig was here as the top assistant, it had only been for this year. This was her first year with the program.
But I think we've seen Monmouth play like this over the last couple of seasons. So I think a coach stepping in, sure, you want to implement some of the things you do and tweak things, but you can't give a major overhaul, so to speak, a couple weeks into the season when you've done all that work over the summer and the preseason and things of that nature.
Jody Craig at the Community College of Foothill, 448 wins, 164 losses over a 20-year span. Now getting her chance in the MAC with Monmouth. 6:11 to play, second quarter, off the St. Peter's timeout. It's the Avion magazine to Hughes. Hughes is 5 of 5 for the field. Let's see what happens here. Oh, it's that kind of night.
And it was a good job by Pero setting the ball screen out top against the zone. And again, Hughes confident, got the lift, and with that little bit of oomph, she got the friendly roll.
And another miscue for Monmouth. They have 11 turnovers, and we still have 5:40 remaining first half. Velas back into the game, right corner, lobs for Pero. Pero has been working hard in the paint. Martin caught underneath the basket, hits the underneath portion of the rim. So here's Graham for Monmouth. 21-12, St. Peter's. It's their largest lead, 9. There's Shaw. Really has been unable to get unleashed. Jarnett. Here's Graham. 3 ball on the way, around the rim and out. Just beat the shot clock buzzer. And another offensive rebound. And that's number 8 for Monmouth. Here's the drive by Graham. Oh, nice feed as she found Ballman by herself on the left side.
Martin came over, like you said, right on time with the pass, an easy layup, and the Hawks desperately needed that one.
21-14. Monmouth down by 7. This is Magazine, freshman out of Queen of Peace High School. Pero, St. John Vianney. Martin gets in low, and the ball is blocked by Ballman. Now there's a late whistle. Apparently that's going to be a traveling violation. Looked like Martin had the ball stuck by Ballman, got it back, put the ball on the floor.
Peacocks have gotten the ball to Martin the last couple of possessions, but the previous possession she stepped out. You got to take that mid-range shot. You're driving underneath the basket, and in that case, playing against a post player that has maybe 6 inches on you and has long arms.
There's a partial block. Spooner Knight for Monmouth. She's struggled as well. Cross court to Velas for St. Peter's. Trying to match their biggest lead or even more here with this 3, and there you have it. It's a 10-point advantage off the Magazine tray.
Magazine with their 15th 3 of the year. She certainly has ability. You know, it's a long season. She's hit the wall a bit, but she's a player down the road that the Peacocks can certainly build upon. Magazine,
3 points. It's been all Taylor Hughes, and Monmouth with their 12th turnover. 3:30, second quarter remaining. St. Peter's by 10. So for the Peacocks, and there's a Magazine, a poor pass that was easily blocked by Dockery. And now Dockery has the ball slip out of her hand. Hughes was behind. Dockery unable to convert.
It was a good hustle play by Hughes. Magazine was trying to get her the ball. Hughes raced down the floor, causing a bit of pressure. That helped force the turnover.
So Monmouth pressure in the backcourt with Spooner Knight holding her arms high, trying to hassle Pero. Dangerous cross court as Ashley Howell into the game for St. Peter's, and that 3 ball's missed. Back iron, rebound Monmouth. Here's Dockery. And good position down low. Ballman from behind, fouled by Howell.
We played over 7 minutes in the second quarter. First foul on either team.
And Monmouth with just 2 points in the second quarter. They trailed 17-12 after 1. It's 24-14 for the Peacocks. Shaw still unable to get unleashed. Here's Spooner Knight. And the left-hander, no, rolls off the rim. And another offensive board for the Hawks. Here's a 3 ball and a swish. No, make it 2 for Barker. Right foot on the line. Hamilton with a nice, Howell with a nice catch off the feed for St. Peter's. 2:25 remaining in the first half. This is Magazine backing up on the dribble. Nice entrance into Howell, but she's unable to convert. She went strong to the basket but missed the shot. And 3 ball no by Shaw. And last touch by Monmouth.
All things considered, I'm sure Coach Coyle would like a much bigger lead. Dodge a bit of a bullet there as Shaw misses the 3 in transition. He makes that as just a 5-point game. So Peacocks need to extend this lead, get it over double digits as they go into the locker room.
Kayla Shaw scoreless the leading scorer for Monmouth. And Taylor Hughes is 7 for 7,
and
Chris.
She's getting every type of roll imaginable over the front rim. That one sort of stuck on the back iron and fell through. But it was a good pass by Magazine, threw it over the defense. Peacocks had a 2-on-1. Hughes hits the pull-up jumper.
Hughes has 14 of the Peacocks' 26 points here in the first half. The lob in for Ballman. Low post move and turnaround. Meyer boxing out well and over the top and over the back. Ballman for the foul.
Mentioned earlier, sometimes it just comes down to making shots. The Hawks have had a few good looks these last couple of possessions. They've just missed. You have your 6'4" post player just turning in the paint. That's an easy shot and can't convert.
Ballman is now 1 of 3. Monmouth 24% on 6 of 26. Compare that to St. Peter's 44% from the field, 12 of 27. Peacocks 10-point lead. That matches their largest. Velas Pero just outside the arc, drives to the baseline. Left corner Lochner. Here's Hughes for the pull-up.
And she said, forget about all those bounces. I'm going to swish this one. And again, just a beautiful shot.
Taylor Hughes has 16 points. She averages 10. The next 2 points will make it 1,000 for her career. Can she do it here in the first half? Steal by Pero, fouled in the backcourt. Nowhere near the bonus, just the second team foul. Monmouth Middleton with her second personal. I don't think Hughes has come out of the game either.
She came out for a moment.
All right, we're inside of a minute here. First half from Jersey City. Lochner around the screen from Pero. This is Meyer. Pero getting positioned low, and boy, a bit of a circus shot goes in, but the travel occurred first.
All I'll say about that is I'm not a big fan of a right-handed player using the right foot as the pivot foot so much. And sometimes that puts you in awkward positions.
All right, 31 seconds game clock, 17 shot clock. On her way to the basket. No for Spooner Knight. Banked it a little bit too heavily. However, she was fouled. And Zoe Pero committing her first second team foul, St. Peter's. So Spooner Knight at the free throw line for the first time this evening. She's got 3 points, 1 of 6 for the field. Has contributed 4 rebounds.
We talked about maybe Shaw getting more involved for Monmouth, but Spooner Knight, an athletic player that can slash to the basket. All WAC second team as a sophomore, 13.5 points per game, 5 rebounds per contest. Sat out last year. And as we head towards Albany, she should be playing her best basketball.
Makes both attempts from the line to our right. 30.2 seconds left. So the shot clock remains intact. And pressure solved by St. Peter's. Velas saving along the far sideline in front of the Monmouth bench. Jody Craig, the Monmouth coach, barking out defensive instructions. Here's Taylor Hughes setting the pick. Sam Meyer, Lochner, quick pass in low, and a good move inside. And that's Precious Featherson getting some minutes here. 1 second left in the half, and Jarnett could not get the shot off before the buzzer sounded. And a good end of the half as St. Peter's builds their largest lead here at intermission, 30-18.
And it was a good job by Hughes there creeping up on Jarnett so she couldn't get that 3 off. Forced her to put the ball on the floor. By that time, the half was over. So just the type of start the Peacocks were looking for. A lot of energy in the game against Marist the other day. They were down by 7 points in the second quarter. Marist reeled off 10 straight, and you could see it took something out of the Peacocks in these last couple of days off. The Peacocks obviously recharged. This is a game that, you know, you look at the schedule, this is one that we can get. They probably thought they should have won the game down at Monmouth, and they've certainly come out and played well. And all this because Taylor Hughes has come out and played aggressively, and she shot the ball great. And you can't shoot the ball any better than she has.
Well, Taylor Hughes, who is now 2 points short of 1,000 for her career. She leads the Peacocks in so many different categories. It starts with scoring at 10.9, rebounding 5.9. Sajana Bethea has a slight edge there at 6'1". She is first in the team in blocks and sixth in the lead in that category. And she's having quite a night. A perfect 8 of 8 from the field, 16 points, 5 rebounds to lead St. Peter's to the advantage at the interval. We'll take some time away and we'll see how the Peacocks can perform in the second half as they try to get their first win of the season in the MAC. It's St. Peter's 30 and Monmouth 18 on YouTube.com. Glenn Crooks and Chris Radicke back in Jersey City, the Onatelli Center, where the St. Peter's women, who are looking for their first victory since November the 25th against Delaware, they're on top of Monmouth here in the MAC, 30-18. And good news also in Lawrenceville for St. Peter's supporters, where the men at halftime lead Ryder 36-27. Ryder coming in at 7-2 in the league, while St. Peter's, they're certainly in position to be a bit desperate for a victory at 2 up and 6 down coming in. But let's get back to the women in the first half, and the story has to start and perhaps even end with Taylor Hughes.
Absolutely. She's been on since the get-go, very aggressive, looking for a shot. Can't say anything more about her shooting. Most of them were mid-range shots. 8 of 8 from the field, 16 points, 5 rebounds in 18 minutes. As a team, the Peacocks 14 of 29, just 1 of 4 from three-point range. They haven't gotten to the line much, just 2 free throws. Martin was 1 of 2. The Peacocks, however, with just 6 turnovers. Monmouth has committed 13. Peacocks have scored 8 points off those 13 turnovers. St. Peter's also getting some points in the paint. 12 paint points, just 4 for Monmouth. Another big number, Monmouth, just 2 of 10 from three-point range. So we talked about both teams struggling from distance. The Peacocks have attempted just 4, while Monmouth has taken 10. So the Peacocks are going to have to continue to get on the glass. Those 9 offensive rebounds didn't really hurt the Peacocks. Monmouth with just 4 second-chance points, something you don't see much from St. Peter's. First half, 6 fast break points, so I like what St. Peter's did. Once they were able to get a rebound, they pushed the ball up the floor looking for some easy baskets in transition. And I think right off the start of the game, when you saw Hughes trailing the play and hitting that pull-up jumper on the secondary break, it was certainly a good sign for St. Peter's.
All right, the Peacocks with a record coming in of 3-16, 0-8 in the league. Only Iona with a similar 0-8 mark without a victory in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. St. Peter's will have the basketball to start the third quarter. Alyssa Vellis standing right in front of us, and she'll put it into play as St. Peter's will attempt to score at the basket to our right. Deja Martin at the top of the key. Now it's Vellis from about 30 feet out. Perro in close, and her baseline turnaround, no. Taylor Hughes tries to keep it alive, and Monmouth comes up with it. St. Peter's missing out on their first chance, and here is Vellis as the turnover parade continues, and Vellis gets into the basket, fouled by Barker, can't convert. 2 free throws coming up for the St. Peter's senior.
Vellis got to the foul line late in the game against Marist, was 7 of 7 from the stripe entering the ball game against Marist. She had just taken 9 free throws the entire season, but we saw Vellis shoot one off the dribble before and knock it down, that time getting to the basket. Gets a couple of free throws.
She is 88% for the line on the season. 3 points. 8 different Peacocks have scored, but that's led by Taylor Hughes. 16 first half points, 2 away from 1,000 for her career. Vellis makes the second. Biggest lead, 14 for St. Peter's. Putting the pressure on and getting it into the front court off the dribble. Barker. Now it's Jarnett. It's still high pressure from St. Peter's. And the open jumper, Barker. Weak side rebound. Taylor Hughes for St. Peter's. Her 6th rebound of the game. Now it's Magazine with the pull-up. Good box out, Ballman. Monmouth back the other way. And here's the drive and the scoop, and it's good by Rhea Spooner-Knight.
Defensive breakdown for the Peacocks. No one saw Spooner-Knight flying up the wing. Easy layup.
Hughes, hesitation move. Baseline drive, puts it up. No, her first miss of the evening. But an offensive rebound, Deja Martin, fresh 30, St. Peter's. Pull up, Hughes. It is good. 18 points. They won't stop the game, but I don't know. We'll get a PA announcement. That's 1,000 for her career. Wonderful stuff.
She knew it. Her teammates knew it. She had a smile on her face after she missed her first shot of the night, and then did what she's been doing all night, hit that pull-up jumper.
Martin, again, nice check out after the Ballman miss baseline. St. Peter's 34, Monmouth 20, 8-10, remaining third quarter. Magazine, she was teeing it up, and she hit the three.
Magazine with a lot of confidence there, and we've seen it throughout the course of the year. She has a very good shot. She really extends the follow-through. Most of the balls come out straight out of her hands, so Magazine certainly a player with potential, and she knocks down her second three of the night, and Monmouth needs a timeout as the St. Peter's lead has ballooned to 17.
Well, Magazine 24% from three-point range, but 2 of 2 tonight, 6 points on the evening to go along with 2 assists and 1 rebound. It's all Peacocks to start the second half, and for virtually this game, it's St. Peter's 37 and Monmouth 20. 8:07 to play third quarter. Back in a moment on the PeacocksNetwork.com. Well, for the second time this year, the St. Peter's women have a 1,000-point career score. Sajana Bethea did it earlier in the year at UMass Lowell. And tonight, Taylor Hughes, and an important evening for her and her team. 18 points for Hughes, and even 1,000 for her career, and the Peacocks by 17. Off the Monmouth timeout, it's a Ballman miss. Martin rebound, Ballman foul, and St. Peter's continues to roll.
As of now, it's just been one of those nights for the Hawks. Get the timeout, you get the ball into the post, but you don't get the finish.
Taylor Hughes, sociology major here in Jersey City, senior from Beacon, New York. She's got it now. Pero sets the screen. Now it's Martin. She's gotten good position all game long, and that's her most positive move to the basket.
Because that time she had a smaller defender on her than before, and she also used the spin to create space.
First field goal in 5 tries. 39-20. Lob in low. Middleton out for Jarnett, and Jarnett traveled with the basketball. A 3-second violation. Either way, that's number, I think, 16. Could be 15 or 16. I'm losing track now. Monmouth giving the ball away once again. Magazine working on Jarnett. Whips cross court for Velas. 7 minutes exactly remaining third quarter. Velas reverses to Pero, back to Velas. Straightaway 3. You can see it miss right side of the rim. Rebound tapped to the ever-present Barker, the junior from West Virginia. Has it deep right corner. Whips a left-handed pass into Middleton. Middleton, a strong move. It's up and in, and count it as a foul committed by St. Peter's.
Middleton caught that one in the post. Looked like she's trying to find a shooter on the perimeter. When she realized she was one-on-one, she just turned and went to the basket, had the strength to put it in despite the foul by Martin.
Middleton makes only half of her free throw attempts, and that was a brick, as they say. She's got 4 points on the night. That was her second field goal, along with 5 rebounds, but Monmouth needs every point they can muster. Magazine picks up, hounded there by Nason. Martin on the weak side puts it up. No, it hits the underneath portion of the basket. 2-on-2 break for Monmouth. The trailer is Shaw. Kayla Shaw scoreless on the night. Elbow jumper short, but the follow, no. Barker gets it once again. It's been an offensive rebound flurry on the evening for Monmouth. Really the only positive thing, and they are not converting at a rate that's keeping them in the game. Another foul as Middleton goes up strong, this one on Martin.
Middleton looked like she was in the lane for a long time. Martin brought the arms down. Monmouth will get back to the line, but like you said, Hawks with a ton of offensive rebounds, and the Peacocks lucky that Monmouth hasn't really shot the ball real well, just 24% from the field, while St. Peter's is 46%.
And for Monmouth, only 4 second chance points off of their 11 offensive rebounds, as Middleton gets the roll on her first free throw. Foul line left. St. Peter's with Lochner in the game now, along with Bethea, Velas, Hughes, and Perro. That's their 5. Monmouth has Nason, Jarnett, along with Spooner Knight, Middleton, and Mackenzie Barker. And aggressive along the near sideline was Taylor Nason, and she picks up her first.
Monmouth's going to try and force some turnovers of their own. As soon as St. Peter's is bringing it over the timeline, Hawks are using a trap. St. Peter's has to be ready for that.
Lochner between the circles, the approaching Nason, and Lochner angles left past her. Baseline right, Bethea, and that's good. Little 15-footer.
Bethea was open, used the jab step, got a little more room, and Bethea knocks it down.
What a catch underneath off the feed. And Middleton couldn't convert, but a foul off the miss. Spooner Knight with the rebound, and she'll be at the line. So are the massive number of offensive boards from superior height? Is it energy? Is it positioning?
Looks like oftentimes tonight the Peacocks have been pushed underneath the basket, really not in position. Monmouth does have some size, but, you know, the disparity other than Ballman is not that great. You just have to initiate contact on the defensive glass, and the Peacocks haven't been doing that.
Well, chance to get those offensive rebounds. There have been 26 misses out of 34 shots for Monmouth. And here's a turnover. One-on-one to the basket is Jarnett. Pull up. Barker is good. Jarnett, good vision as she hit the trailer. Now it's 41-27. Monmouth cuts it to 14. Under 5 to play third quarter. Velas. Lochner swings now for Taylor Hughes. Now inside Bethea. Bethea strong to the basket, misses with the right hand. Rebound tapped right into the hands of Jarnett. She leads the break once again, and the ball deflected high into the air by Lochner. Monmouth, though, recovers. Jarnett, head of the circle, whips a pass underneath for Nason. Outside for Barker. Now Jarnett for 3. And another board for Monmouth off the miss. Ballman looks over to her coach, Jody Craig, who became the head coach on December the 7th after 9 games when Jenny Palmatier was replaced. 10 seconds to shoot for Monmouth. Jarnett, again, straightaway 3. Missed it again. That one off the heel of the rim, and Perro manages to grab it for St. Peter's with Lochner. Bounces, tough catch by Bethea. That one was thrown at her feet and then bumped by Ballman, and foul on Monmouth. And a timeout on the floor with 3:52 to play. Your scores: St. Peter's 41 and Monmouth 27 on YouTube and the PeacocksNetwork.com. All right, Monmouth down by 14. St. Peter's with the basketball. Play will resume with Lochner into Velis, left corner. Bethea, mid-range. It is good, so Sajana Bethea. That could help St. Peter's here down the stretch.
Absolutely.
Up the
Bethea has shown throughout her career she can hit that mid-range shot, and that would certainly be a big help if she can become more involved.
St. Peter's foul on the drive by Spooner Knight. Peacocks lead 43-27, 3:34 to play, third quarter. Brianna Tarabaccia in for Taylor Hughes. Hughes leaves with 18 points. If you're curious, her career high is 22. She did it twice this season against Delaware and last year against Manhattan. Up and under, and a travel. Alexa Middleton. Turnover number 16 for Monmouth. They average just under 21 a game. St. Peter's averages 20 turnovers a game. But the Peacocks have managed to secure the ball pretty well tonight, just 7. Bethea from the middle of the foul circle, rim that one, and Spooner Knight by herself to Jarnett. Jarnett pounds the right-hand dribble. Spooner Knight. Jarnett now. Slices to the left, now back to the right. Neeson, left corner for Spooner Knight. 10 seconds to shoot. She'll throw the three up, in and out. And when you know it, Monmouth in position to grab their 14th offensive rebound, but this time Middleton couldn't keep the handle.
28 rebounds for the Hawks. 13 on the offensive glass. The Peacocks with 22 overall rebounds, 6 on the offensive end.
Monmouth had 51 rebounds in all in their 51-44 victory over St. Peter's earlier this season. Meyer misses the baseline jump. And last touch by Monmouth. St. Peter's will keep it with the fresh 30 and a 16-point advantage, 2:37 to play.
Good hustle by Bethea. Got inside Spooner Knight to contest that rebound. Spooner Knight smacked it out of bounds.
And what a play off the inbound. Bethea off a screen, got loose, and then in between two Monmouth defenders manages to get points number 5 and 6 on the evening. 45-27, St. Peter's. And reaching in with the left hand and stealing it is Tarabaccio, and looks to fast break, and it'll be last touch by the St. Peter's sophomore guard. But she anticipated that pass well.
And then I think she put herself in a bad spot there. Defenders on each side brought the ball down, exposed it, was knocked away by Graham, went off Tarabachia's foot.
Spooner Knight driving on Tarabaccia. Pull-up baseline is good. Got the friendly rim. Meyer looking for help. Gets it to Bethea. Bethea handling the basketball and wisely gives it up to Sammy Lochner. Lochner double-teamed at the midcourt stripe and accelerates to get into the front court. It's Meyer holding the ball high overhead. Velas. Three-pointer. No. Velas third in the league in three-point field goals made. Here's Ramos. Wild shot. Draws the foul. She'll be at the line shooting two. Rosa Graham, who is a 70% free throw shooter.
Last possession for the Peacocks. The pass from Meyer just a tad late allowed the defense to come over and contest the shot by Velas. Velas also had to move out a bit to give Meyer a passing angle. I don't think Meyer saw her originally.
Graham misses the first free throw. She's good from the line. Graham averages a little over 6 points per contest. Misses the second as well. So she is scoreless. And, however, manages to strip it away from Lochner. And now she gets her first points and one with 1:26 to play.
Give Graham credit. Just missed a couple of free throws. Doesn't put her head down. Applies the pressure. Reach with the inside hand, the proper hand. Was able to scoop it away, track it down, score, and get the foul.
Graham's first field goal in 2 attempts. Mackenzie Barker and Reyes Spooner Knight lead Monmouth tonight, each with 11. Free throw is good to complete the three-point play by Rosa Graham. She now has 5. St. Peter's by 13 with 1:15 on the clock. 15 seconds on the 30-second shot clock. Meyer whips it toward Velas. Dribbles out of the corner. Picks up Bethea. Elbow jumper is good at Sajana Bethea, feeling it here in the third quarter.
You see one go down, and then you get a bit of a spark, and now Bethea very aggressive. She's hit 3 jumpers here in the third quarter.
Sajana Bethea giving St. Peter's a 15-point lead. Good position low. Middleton turnaround, no. Meyer the foul. 2 more free throws coming up. Alexa Middleton, 1 of 3 from the line tonight. Middleton on the season coming in was 14 of 28. So,
well, not a bad foul there by Meyer if Middleton misses these free throws. But Middleton playing a bit of bully ball, just lowered the shoulder and sort of trucked Meyer there, backed her out of the way, and then Meyer had no choice but to try and block the shot. Ended up committing the foul.
Just the first foul of the night for Meyer, and masking her 50% free throw shooting, we see Middleton make the second. 1 of 2 in that sequence. Magazine using the off arm to help her get into the front court, and Velas got the chance to spot up from the corner.
Magazine kept the dribble against the double team. Before we saw a couple of Peacocks pick it up right over the timeline, kept it alive. Monmouth in a scramble mode, find the open shooter.
2 seconds separate game clock, shot clock. Baseline lay-in, no. As Taylor Nason had a gift there, made a good strong move, and you can see she's shaking her head off that miss. But Monmouth, once again, manages to get the rebound.
That was a quick whistle on the tie-up.
So the possession arrow pointing in favor of the Hawks. 5 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Rosa Graham. Now it's Jarnett and Monmouth in that last possession, unable to get the shot off before the buzzer. So St. Peter's, averaging 55 points a game, have 50 through 3 quarters, Chris.
Well, it's been a good night so far. Now the Peacocks just have to finish the deal. A 17-point lead, looking to break this long losing streak of 14 games And if you drew it up beforehand, this is the way St. Peter's would like to play, getting points from their seniors, finding the open shooter, Velas, Bethea hitting some jumpers, and of course Hughes leading the way.
18 points for Hughes. She had 16 at the break, and that bucket in the second half gave her 1,000 for her career. And if things go the way they are through 3 quarters in that final stanza, then she'll be able to celebrate that accomplishment with a little wider smile, because St. Peter's, they've dropped 14 in a row. They could break that here tonight, leading by 17 after 3. It's St. Peter's 50, Monmouth 33 on YouTube and the PeacocksNetwork.com. St. Peter's hitting 48% from the field, 38% from behind the arc, 3 of 8 there. And they lead Monmouth 50-33 after 3 quarters. 10 minutes on the clock. Velas puts it into Magazine, and we're underway. 4th quarter, Glenn Crooks, Chris Radicke, Yanatelli Center, Jersey City, where St. Peter's has lost 3 in a row here at home. 8 in a row in the MAC. They're 0-8. Meyer off the feed from Bethea. Bethea has always been good on the delivery, and Meyer with the conversion.
Nice find by Bethea. Now the defense has to come out and play that short jumper. Good cut by Meyer.
St. Peter's by 19. And Rosa Graham backing up. Magazine giving her a lot of room, and Spooner Knight sets the screen and launches the 3. Meyer with the rebound, and St. Peter's back the other way. Velas around Bethea. Magazine bounces for Meyer. Cross-court Velas. Why not? That one looked like it might get a friendly bounce off the rim and backboard, but still missed. Spooner Knight, and she sandwiches her way between Tarabaccia and Magazine and Bethea. However, unable to convert, and we have
a line change.
So you'd have to consider that as Jody Craig, her dissatisfaction with the whole group, including her leading scorer there, Kayla Shaw, who continues to have an off night. 0 for 2 for the field. She's contributed 3 assists, and here's Meyer. The bounce for Tarabaccia, and turnover St. Peter's.
And there's a case of someone's got to shoot it. I know you want to be unselfish, but if you're Meyer, you're a couple of feet away, just pull the trigger. Tarabaccia, when she caught it, if she went up strong, she'd have probably drawn a foul.
So a little bit more lively on the sideline for St. Peter's. Big lead, but they're certainly not going to be in celebration mode until the final buzzer. Meyer fouls Middleton again, as Middleton went up strong, but as we said earlier, that's her second personal. So she's in no difficulty. First team foul, and Middleton struggles.
I just don't think Coach Coyle likes that Middleton was able to get that good position down low. Not so much the foul.
Well, Middleton is getting a chance to practice those free throws. He's 3 of 6 now on the evening. 7 points, 6 rebounds. in and out with the second. And Tarabaccia flies in for the rebound. Saw that well. Magazine. As Bethea stayed near the Peacock, the logo at the center circle, to set the screen for Magazine, who has it to Hughes. Taylor Hughes got a nice rest, and Pero, for the second time this game, has sailed a pass out of bounds.
You catching the high post like that, you turn and look opposite. It was the right idea, but poor execution.
Although St. Peter's still with an 18-point lead. And a steal, giveaway by Jarnett, taken by Pero. Left-handed shot off the glass, and it's good. And one for Zoe Pero.
And that's what the Peacocks need more of heading down the stretch of the season. Easy baskets in transition. And I guess Jarnett just lost it. I mean, there wasn't a ton of pressure there, but the Peacocks look to score. They need more transition baskets.
Well, unofficially, that's 8 fast break points for St. Peter's. Pero will look to complete the conventional three-point play. She does. Zoe Pero now 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. A lot of contributions, but in particular, Taylor Hughes with 18. Dana Carbone. Now it's Dockery for the pull-up. Long rebound, chase down. Not unusual to see Monmouth get a second chance. Bethea kicks the basketball, so Monmouth will keep possession with Dockery slapping the ball once in front of her own bench, and Tarabaccia, who stole a ball not in that part of the floor, but closer to us here along the scorer's table at midcourt by reaching in with that left hand and denying. This one goes out. Monmouth, 7:15 to play. The Hawks are down by a bundle. Lay-in for the 5'7" guard. Jarnett got loose underneath. 3 minutes gone by. Fourth quarter. Tarabaccia to Bethea. Bethea faces up. You almost expected her to put that on the floor and look to drive. Now she does. And a bit of an awkward shot. Partially blocked. Hughes on the delay and too hard off the glass. Fast break the other way. Cross court. It'll be Carbone. And her looping three-pointer is good, and a wise timeout by Pat Coyle. The lead is large, but Monmouth looking the part in the last 2 possessions.
Well, that's what Carbone is in the game to do, shoot threes. That's just their 6th of the season now, 6 of 27, but a very quick release off the miss by Hughes, but it was set up by Bethea, and you see a lot, if you really pay attention, players driving to the basket with no idea where the basket is. They don't have their eyes on the target, so Bethea put her head down there, tried to split 2 defenders, just threw it up off the glass. Hughes there, she's made a ton of more difficult shots, just missed that one badly. Monmouth heads the other way, and that's the way you get back in the game with transition threes.
So what's the expectation? If we sit down and watch the pros, at what point do they look at the basket? Just before releasing?
Well, there's been talk about quiet eye training and things of that nature in different sports and golf. And, for each player, I'm sure it's different, but just common sense and logic, the longer you have your eyes on the target, the better you are going to shoot. And we see all the time players that dribble on the floor. It's not just so that a defender doesn't come over and help or to find a teammate open. It's also for the purpose of shooting as well, because you have to see what your target is. And too many times players are driving and then targeting the goal is like an afterthought. And you end up with shots like that.
Now the golf vision sometimes is looking at the hole. I was taught this once. And then you visualize the rest of the way. You see your shot hit the target, even though you're obviously not lifting your head at the point of contact.
Well, and there's also debate as to what you should look at when you're shooting. Some people will say front of the rim, but there's a difference between a target and what you focus on. You focus on the back of the rim, you see the entire rim, and then as you release, it's putting your hand in the basket, so to speak.
Pero, good feed for Kayla Hughes, who is 10 of 12 from the field. Now, after scoring her 1,000th point tonight, is 2 shy of her career high. She's got 20. Here's Jarnett on the drive. Pero doing well. Now Pero steps to the baseline to try to interfere with Arfanengo's shot. Does so. Rebound Hughes.
Now on that shot, was she looking at the basket when she went up?
I'm going to have to track that a little bit more readily.
Well, I mean,
I'd say that's a no.
You saw where the ball went. And some of that comes from dribbling into places on the floor where there's defense or where you're not comfortable.
And Pero, her entrance low post to Bethea, deflected, turnover St. Peter's. 5.5 to play. Monmouth with the basketball, trailing by 18. St. Peter's looking for their first win in 9 MAC games. And Carbone, that's Arfanengo, but the same looping shot, this time straightaway 3.
Had a clear look at it.
57-42 St. Peter's. Magazine to Hughes. Magazine switches the floor to Tarabaccia. Now it's Magazine left of the circle. 10 seconds to shoot, so Hughes will go strong. And what a feed from Hughes. She drew a lot of numbers and found Pero underneath.
Middleton stepped up. Good cut by Pero. Peacocks have their 17-point lead back.
7 points for Pero, 1 point below her season average. 4:35 left. Arfanengo looking, now puts it on the floor. Jarnett finds a seam, and good help by Pero, but Magazine with the body prior to the release.
Good, quick, hard move by Jarnett. Opened the hips of Magazine, and that gave her a straight line drive to the basket. Help came over, commits the foul.
First foul on Magazine, second team foul for St. Peter's with 4:26 to play. Elena Jarnett, Maranatha Academy from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Minnesota, the hosts this year for the Super Bowl. Vikings, though, unable to make it a home. Has that? I don't think that's ever happened,
No.
right?
That's why they're making such a big deal about it, how they're going to get their own locker room, their practice facility, all of that. I'm sure someone would have complained about it being an unfair advantage, but we don't have to worry about that anymore. We also don't have to worry about 5-degree weather going out there.
And Jarnett, with a decent shift for Monmouth, takes a seat. And Rosa Graham checks back in for the Hawks. Tarabaccia blocked her. Quick feed for Bethea. Look who's alone underneath. Pero with a good baseline cut.
That's just poor defense by the Hawks. You get the ball to the high post. There were, 2-3 players around, but they calmly found the cutter. And the Peacocks got a couple of cutters going to the basket in this ball game. So certainly the offense playing much better than it has in recent games.
St. Peter's has not hit the 60 mark on the scoreboard since last year. This season, but it was December the 28th at Manhattan, a 76-64 loss. They are up 61-43. Monmouth with Graham. In for Shaw, looking for her first points of the night. It's just been a very difficult evening, and exclamation mark on that as Shaw travels.
And what can you really say about that? Just rushing, moving the pivot foot before you put it on the floor. And it's been that type of night for the Hawks.
There are 349 Division I teams that are ranked in terms of the statistics. Monmouth is 347 in turnover margin, minus 7.5 as St. Peter's commits one right there. That's their 13th of the game. There's that Carbone looping three, misses this time. Lochter with a basketball. 3 minutes to play. St. Peter's poised for their first victory in the league and their 4th overall. Tarabaccia holds it high over her head. 12 seconds to shoot. She'll take the 3 and rimmed it. Long rebound. Pero tries but cannot save.
Nice awareness by Pero, catching in the high post. Like you talk about, you look to either one side of the floor or the other. If it comes from the opposite, you look to the other side. That time she had the sense the defense was coming over to her. She threw it right back to Tarabaccia. From our angle, it was right on line, just a bit strong.
This is Graham working against Lochner. And Barker with the drive, and the ball deflected away. Hughes grabs it and then is fouled. It'll be Taylor Nason, I believe. Her 3rd.
And there's an example of another thing I like to talk about since we have a little time here is why not take an open 7-footer instead of a contested 3-footer? And so many times you see players turn down open shots in the mid-range. They've been told since they're very little, you got to drive to the basket, you got to drive. Well, sometimes there's defense there, and their players bigger than you. So why just drive into those players when you can have a shot 3 further feet out and no one on you? You don't have to answer. I'm just talking to myself here, but you understand what I mean.
I do. And Pero with her 5th rebound. It was an offensive board and a putback. So Zoe Pero now with 11 points. 5 of 9 for the field for Pero. Her career high 18. She did it 3 times all last season. 2 minutes exactly remaining in this one. St. Peter's, their largest lead, 20. Middleton in the post. Goes into the middle of the lane, misses the shot. Offensive rebound, Arfenengo. Now she picks up the dribble, looking for help to Graham. 1:40 to play, 6 on the shot clock. Shaw drives against Tarabaccia, bottled up on the baseline, and Graham will toss up the 3. It's good. 90 seconds left in this one. 63-46. Lochter to Hughes. Taylor Hughes, who earned her 1,000th career point tonight. Bethea, who got her 1,000th earlier in the season, and she banks that heavily off the little baby hook.
He was online, got a chance to go in.
Looping 3, heel of the rim. Tarabaccia cannot hold on, so Graham, I don't know if Monmouth will look to take any positives away from this one, but they certainly have their second chance opportunities plentiful. The conversion, though, not so much. 20 offensive rebounds unofficially, 12 second chance points for Monmouth. Is there a good percentage for that?
Well, I'm sure he'd like to convert 50%. You have to understand when you're looking at that number without like video analysis,
sure,
how many lead directly to basket. Sometimes it's thrown around and you have to restart the possession. So I think just looking at a number, you know, without really analyzing it, sort of skews the percentage that you want. But you know, there are mathematicians who now do that type of thing. And one of the other things they always talk about, you know, the mid-range shot, but you have to put that into perspective. They're talking about the NBA, and really what they're telling you is you don't want long twos with your foot on the line. You'd rather shoot corner threes. You know, there's some talk, I'm sure if they could redo the floors in all these arenas, they would make the 3 in the corner further out.
Further out?
Yeah, because it's the shortest 3, and for NBA players, and
sure,
you're 6'6", you don't have to jump to shoot that. So that's why, you know, if you carefully look at it, there's so many corner 3s and plays that go out there. But if you're just watching a pickup game or watching the players who have skill are the players who are scoring in the mid-range. Because, again, you can't always finish in traffic. So the Heinrich's daughter from Canisius, like, the women's player that we see. She has some athleticism. She's 6'1", and she could jump and shoot over the defense, and that really makes her stand out.
If we got a moment, I want to ask you about the corner three. Lochner almost has it taken away by Jarnett. Back into the game for Monmouth. 40 seconds game clock, 15-second shot clock, and a Monmouth foul. Precious Featherson hits the deck, and she was hit by Alexa Middleton, who gets her third foul. So Featherson will be at the line where she is 42% this season, makes the first. So corner, but don't you also look at the fact that from the corner there is less margin, or rather more margin for error, because you don't have the backboard necessarily to help you guide one in.
How many threes from straight away or from the side really go off the backboard? And a lot of the players, you've been trained to help defense, play help defense, come off a shooter. But the game has changed. I think Jade Billis the other night, I forget which game it was talking about. I said, I don't know why you would ever come off a corner shooter to help out, because now you're just opening up for an easy three. And remember, 40% from three equals 60% from two. So, that's why you want to create long passes, because if you're driving ball side and you help, it's a short pass and the closeout won't be quick enough.
Well, a lot of smiles, final seconds. There you have it. Smiles along the Peacocks sideline, because St. Peter's has snapped a 14-game losing streak. They win their first game in the league with a very convincing 67-47 victory over Monmouth. And over the last few years, there have been very few of these games where you could relax in the final stages of it, and so really something to cherish here for St. Peter's.
Certainly a big win. You can tell from the beginning of the game the Peacocks came out ready to play. Hughes set the tone, and I'm sure if you want to draw it up if you're a Peacock fan, this is the way you want the game to look. He shot the ball well, 50%. That's their high for the season. Their previous high was 49% against Delaware. You have Hughes leading the way. You have Bethea hitting that mid-range jump shot. Then when the defense comes out to her, finding teammates cutting to the basket. Velas hit a three in the second half off the pass from Magazine. So you have the freshman point guard involved. So certainly a good prescription for the Peacocks.
All right. We're going to hook up Phyllis Mangina in a moment, and we've got her cranked up. So congratulations, Phyllis, and it's always very nice to see all the smiles. And what was the little dance you did there in the middle?
I told them we win, I dance. You know what I mean? So no, it's just nice to see the smiles on our kids' faces. That they've been working really hard, and sometimes you just need a little push to get on the other side. And I've said it every night. We're so much better than we were playing, but about a couple of days ago after that Niagara game, I think our kids finally got together. They were tired of losing and needed to have a little bit more fun. And I think it showed tonight how we played together and shared the ball and did some really nice things.
Certainly the energy level was good to start. At the end of the Marist game, wasn't really there. It didn't seem from this side of it, so you got everyone ready to play, and Taylor Hughes really put her imprint on the game, and I'm sure that's what you expect from her.
Well, you know what? I mean, looking at the Marist game, they were just better than us, and they're better than us right now, and you could say that as a coach. But I thought we at least played harder than we had in the last 3 games. But I think Taylor tonight did what we need her to do. Like usually, she's trying to set everybody up in the first quarter, and we're like, hey. We need you to go after some people and establish a rhythm in a game and let people know, like, take it on yourself a little bit more to, let everybody else ease in. You don't ease in. Like, go after shots, go after baskets. And I thought she was really good tonight, obviously. She was double-double tonight.
And that pull-up jumper, you wonder, we talked about it before. We had that pull-up jumper, we'd be taking it all the time. She can jump over players, she can knock it down.
She's been in a gym constantly for the last month and a half, but if you're not taking it in the game, like it's not all the shots you don't take, you don't have a chance to make. So, I mean, we've said to her 100 times, like you have to shoot the ball. So if you're not shooting the ball, we can't win ever. We just can't win if you're not shooting the ball.
So it's not being selfish by shooting. You really, you know.
You said it right.
And you finally got to her 21 games into her senior year.
Yeah, what about that, right? So.
Well, if you look, Bethea got involved in the second half. You're going to need her to score the basketball down the stretch of the season. Magazine made a great pass. Like she's, seems to be regrouping, 4 assists and a turnover. She could shoot the basketball. You just
flat out.
And like her percentage isn't great right now, but you can see when she releases it, it's online, and she's just going to get better.
Yeah, she's really learning the position. It's different at the college level playing point guard. It's not just about you. You got to understand what we're running. You got to understand where people are supposed to be. People are going to come after you, especially because you're a freshman, So, but she's a flat-out scorer. She can score the ball. So, but right now I like the fact that she's distributing the ball. She is looking for a shot, but she's getting people involved. Her energy level is better. But the 4 assists and 1 turnover, I mean, that's exactly what you want out of that position. So, I thought she did a nice job. I thought Zoe was terrific tonight. She slowed down. She wasn't fouling. She and Sajana got to stay out of foul trouble, right? But I thought we got good contributions. Alyssa played pretty good defensively once we got into the game on 11, and that was a really big deal because Shaw can play, and so. But I thought we got good contributions from a lot of people. I mean, like Tarabachi, she played some good minutes tonight, but she gives us a big wing. And she's 6 foot with length, so we've got to get her more involved as we move through the season.
And I'm sure you'd like to see those fast break points. They say 8, but I think you did a good job of trying to look for that early offense.
Absolutely.
When Hughes hit that pull-up jumper on the secondary break to start the game, I'm sure you probably thought this was going to be a good night.
Yeah, we had a chance.
Yeah. So, but
13 turnovers. I mean, normally you're seeing 25, 23. We had no turnovers in the first 6 minutes of the game. I mean, we usually have 7 by then. You know what I mean? So, I don't really care when that light goes off and players start to finally see it. But I mean, we have 9 freshmen and sophomores. But the big part was, our older players played better tonight. So. When the older players play better in their role, like Sam playing defense, she has to rebound the ball better, but playing D, Sajana scoring and passing, Taylor scoring, so when those ladies are doing stuff, it allows the rest of the team to relax and play a role instead of feeling like they have to do everything.
And how many times have we talked and you said sometimes just making shots, and when you shoot 50%, that's a season high. It makes things a lot easier.
Ball goes in the basket. Everybody feels good about themselves. I mean, we had 19 assists. I mean, we have not had a plus assist turnover ratio all year. So you're 19 and 13. That means everybody's touching the ball, makes you run back on defense faster. So I just thought the energy level, the ball movement, sharing the ball.
10 players in the scoring column.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way we thought we would play all year. So let me just say it's taken a little bit longer. Now we got to back it up and play this way on Sunday at Iona, and then you got to back it up. Like the better teams back it up the next game and then the next game. So, but honestly, I think we have an opportunity on Sunday to, go on the road, and if we bring this energy and this commitment to defensive play and moving the ball and taking care of the ball, then you got a chance to win every night.
All right, thank you, Phyllis, and congratulations.
Thank you. It feels good, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Has to feel good for you guys too.
Yeah, we can smile and not.
So.
Hope we don't say something bad or the wrong thing.
Hey, listen, you know what? The way we were playing, that wasn't fun. But tonight, this is the way this team can play, and so hopefully we're on the right track.
You deserve one like this.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Phyllis. St. Peter's improving to 1-8 in the league with the victory tonight over Monmouth. Iona is winless through 8, so that next game very important psychologically for one, but you want to keep Iona down. Iona has really struggled. They haven't won a game all year.
Well, you want to build on tonight's positive performance. Then you get a home game here before you play 3 straight road games. So we're at the midway point tonight of the MAC season, and you just want to be playing well when the tournament comes upon us, and you want to, like, every game's not going to go like this, obviously, but when you have something to refer back to, some positive moments, certainly, and you win a game, you can certainly build upon that, and that's what the Peacocks are going to try and do on Sunday afternoon.
The top team in the league, they're running away with it. Quinnipiac improved to 10-0 as they routed Canisius on the road. Quinnipiac going up north, winning it 84-55. But back here, St. Peter's led by Taylor Hughes, 10 of 12 for the field, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, earning her 1,000th point of her career. Great moment for her, and she will be able to celebrate that in uncertain terms with the victory as well. Zoe Perro had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 of 9 for the field. Sajana Bethea, she was impressive in the second half, efficient, 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 rebounds, and a couple of assists, 7 points for Alyssa Velas. 1 of 6 from three-point land, but contributed throughout and hit a couple of big shots. One of them a 3. 6 points for the Avion magazine. 4 assists also for the freshman. 4 points for Precious Featherson. Deja Martin had 3, and 2 each for Sammy Lochter, Sam Meyer, and Brianna Tarabaccia.
Well, a good all-around effort. I think the Peacocks have something to build upon. And the one road game before coming back home, and then you got to be prepared for 3 straight away from the Anatelli Center.
For Monmouth, they were led by Mackenzie Barker and Rhea Spooner Knight, each with 11 points. For those who follow the men's team, there is a minute 50 remaining in the contest in Lawrenceville, where Ryder is home to St. Peter's. The Peacocks holding on to a slim 3-point lead. It's 58-55 again with a minute 50 left in that game. Well, that'll do it for us. For Chris Radicke, I'm Glenn Crooks. Again, your final score, St. Peter's 67 and Monmouth 47 on YouTube and the PeacocksNetwork.com.